You got to give Jagger props because he's in law enforcement. So
very nice.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm at now. I'm training about 4 hours from the house. They got me set up in a hotel for some pit maneuver training tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes.
all right, here we go. This is this part.
Are you looking for comprehensive solutions for your performance and automotive needs? Straight Line Performance and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop specializing in race car fabrication, electrical design, chassis setup and alignment. Located in Hamden, Connecticut, they also specialize in aftermarket high performance and chassis upgrades. Be sure to look them up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/straightline, STR8LINE, Performance, &Automotive, or give them a call at 203-415-5316. Welcome, racers and fans, to the Racers News Network Live, presented by Straight Line Performance and Automotive and Scotty Wheels Racing. Your hosts, Chris and Pete, bring you the latest news and interviews in the world of sportsman drag racing, including bracket racing, association races, outlaw, and no-time events. We are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it away, boys.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Racers News Network Live. We are the day after the Dewalt Carolina Nationals at Zmax. We're going to get to the results in a little while. But first, let's go around the clock. Of course, to my left, that doesn't mean that's actually where he is my buddy Pete. How are you, Pete?
Very good. How you doing, Chris?
Good, good. Down below me, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the flying airbrush, Joran Settles.
How are you, Chris and Pete?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm Dylan.
You're doing?
I'm ready
All right.
to go. You're ready to go.
And then in the bottom left corner, the first thing we have to do is give this man some serious thank yous because he is a first responder in down south. I don't know if you want me to say where you live, Jagger, but
Yeah, North Carolina. I appreciate that, guys. How you guys doing?
good, good.
Very good.
Our buddy Jagger Naves, they put together, Jagger and a bunch of his guys got together and they put together a memorial race that's happening in a couple of weeks for Carol Bunny Burkett. And I wanted to have Jagger come on, kind of talk about what's going on with that race, give us all the information, and take it away, Jagger.
Well, I appreciate you guys having us out here. It means a lot to us. This event looks like it's going to be extremely productive as far as car count goes. So we're pretty stoked to have all these guys out here. We just came off a big weekend ourselves. My father, I think we qualified 9th at the Carolina Nationals with our top alcohol car. You know, we run Bunny stickers on the car now. We got to see a lot of our crew who run for Torrance. So it was great to see Bear out there, to see Little Bear, Gary Pritchett out there. And we're stoked for this event coming up on October 2nd.
Very cool. Now, Jagger, for me and Pete, is a local boy. He's from Massachusetts originally, correct? All right. And like you said, his dad runs Top Alcohol Funny Car, been running Top Alcohol Funny Car for a long time. And you're kind of involved a little bit in the promotion side, not just with this race, but in another group as well. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I came up with Earth Shaking Entertainment probably about 15, 16 years ago now. And we've been booking shows all the way from New England down to Florida. Alcohol funny cars, nostalgia funny cars, nitro funny cars, jet cars, wheel standers. Been really blessed over the years to work with some amazing groups, and we're still booking today. You know, we're having a lot of fun. We've been running Top Alcohol cars for about 35 years now, and like you said earlier, we're actually building our second altered for me to finally get into. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Hoping to be out sometime in October with it.
Awesome. Tell us about the cars you got lined up for this event. Right here behind me, actually.
Well, I tell you, it kind of started as soon as B passed away. You know, it was tough on everybody. And the first thing we wanted to make sure we did was really put a race together, put a show together, commemorating, you know, just her name, what she's done, because she was so influential on the business side of things. You know, her car was always awesome. It was always fast, but she was the epitome of a showman or showwoman. She would be the first one there, and she'd be the last one to leave till every autograph was signed. So we definitely wanted to do something in her name. I got with Royce at MIR early on last year, and obviously things were put to the wayside because of COVID. And he reached back out at the beginning of this year, and about, I think in April or May, we got a date, and we've been putting cars together ever since. So really stoked with his lineup. We got a lot of extreme blown altereds coming. We got Nitro, nostalgia funny cars coming. We actually got a couple of big show top alcohol cars coming. Tommy Fox Jr., Dietrich Grayson will be out there. Josh Haskett with his top alcohol car. So we got a lot of groups from nostalgia based to modern cars. We got a little something for everybody.
Very cool. Pete, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Good. Jagger, two things. First of all, thank you very much for what you do, keeping us safe. I know I'm speaking for all of us when I say we can't convey enough how much we appreciate what you do. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Second thing is less of a question and more of a statement. As Chris said, growing up around the New England area, as a kid, same height I am now, but younger. I always went to Lebanon Valley and frequently watched Bunny and the boys run the car. And your comment about the show that she would put on, absolutely. From someone that didn't know anybody and just went there to spectate, you're absolutely right. I've gotten her autograph on more than one occasion. And, you know, she'll treat some 15-year-old kid walking up to her just like someone that's promoting the show, and she would not bail until all the work was done. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
John.
Well, to kind of duplicate what Chris said, absolutely, thanks for your service.
Excuse me, but Pete said that, not Chris.
Oh, Pete.
Thanks. Yeah, don't worry about me, John.
But
Gentlemen, behave.
Well, being that my home track is MDIR, Budds Creek, or always be Budds Creek to me, I literally grew up with watching Bunny Burkett like a lot at Capitol, at Budds Creek, all over the place. I actually, at one of the World of Wheels shows in Washington, D.C., when she had her car in there in like 88, I was like 4 years old, and I actually sat with her for a couple hours during the show, like helping her sign autographs and give her T-shirts and stuff. So I've known her all my life, basically. Watch, you know, little Bear grow up and whatever. But, you know, my question was, I guess, with your dad running an alcohol funny car, my question was, being from the New England area, how did you get to know Bunny? Or, you know, like, I guess it's kind of like, wow, that she's got that reach. Like, I would expect it from somebody from my area, but how did you get to be the one to coordinate just about Bunny?
Well, it's funny. I'm actually originally from Massachusetts. New England Dragway is my home track. I drove junior drags there, I think in '94 when they first come out. You know, I used to work for Mark Rowe at his chassis shop in New Hampshire. So we grew up in the Northeast, and we've been running funny cars now since 1986. The entire time we've run with Bunny Burkett. We've run at all those tracks you mentioned. Matter of fact, the very last funny car show at 7580 was our show, and Bunny Burkett was there. She won that event. We were at Capitol a few years ago before it shut down. It's come back out, so hopefully we'll be back at Capitol. We're excited about that. And then, of course, Eastside Dragway. You know, she did the Easter show every year for 20 plus years. I've been blessed for the last about 12 years. I've booked that event, and she's really family. You know, I've always kind of looked at her kind of like a godmother. She's missed terribly. I'll tell you that now. She's got so many friends, so many family, and just the fans, man. The fans were amazing at 7580 this year. We were able to spread some of her ashes on a decent pass by LB, you know, in the parachutes. And it was really great to have that East Side family, that Easter family there on hand to be part of that. So we're really stoked about that. But that's kind of how I got involved. Started booking, like I said, about 15 years ago when the match racing started drying up. And I figured, you know, we can sit here on the sidelines or we can do something about it. And we started booking, and, you know, I think we've got a pretty good name right now. People know the product that we bring. We have a great time. And this show here, like I said, 35, 40 cars, it's just insane. And real quick, just so I don't forget, I need to thank our sponsors who are helping out with this. all the cars that are coming are actually coming on their own dime. You know, a lot of these match races I put together, you know, it's a paid out event. This one here, everybody's coming on their own dime. They're all donating a couple of passes. So let me just quickly thank S&W Performance. They're the ones who are actually presenting this. They've put up some money with a couple of different contests, which is great. Obviously, Earthshaking Entertainment. But we also have Spell Asphalt all the way from Texas. They jumped on board. Ben Conant, DJ Safety. You got Bobby Fry in the memory of Dodger Glenn. We got Funny Car Chaos. Even though they're doing things huge right now in the Midwest, they jumped on board to help us out a bit. Bob Hill and his wife. We got the Bomb Squad, Time Bomb. If any of you guys are familiar with the Nostalgia Time Bomb guys, they jumped on board. Never Satisfied Racing, Psycho Nut Racing, Lucky Dog Bar and Grill, and obviously MIR. Even though everybody's coming for free, these sponsors have helped put a couple of contests in place. So we have a burnout contest worth over $1,000 now. We're gonna have a Furthest Travel Award, Best Reaction Time Award, and then Top Mile an Hour Low ET Award as well. So it's gonna be Chicago style, kind of like Bunny would always do. Two rounds, the quickest two will hold tight for the final, and then we'll have our event championship. And we're really hoping that this year goes successful, and then maybe we can do something, you know, annually for her at MIR. That was her home track. You know, a lot of the proceeds from the gate are going to go to repaint the body that's on top of the concession stand, because Bunny would have it no other way. And then obviously go out to a few different, going to donate some money to a few different causes for the family. So super stoked to be at MIR. Royce has really blessed us, and I really hope everybody comes out and supports this event.
Well, ho. All right, we got to back up now.
You said paint, my man. I'm just warning you.
like that would be such an honor to paint one of her cars. I don't know if you guys already have somebody lined up, but you don't need to collect. You don't need to collect money if I'm going to help repaint the car. I can tell you that much. That would be my donation to Bunny. So get a hold of me. I don't know but yeah, I mean, I live 20 minutes from the track. I'm actually still. What are the dates of this other? Because I'm kind of bummed that I may not be there.
Yeah, that actually makes both of us. I'm helping putting the show together, but I may not actually make it. I had prior commitments for my mother's 60th birthday, so really trying to do my best right now. I got a couple of our crew guys traveling up to Maryland in my stead to kind of run the show to keep it moving. The show itself is actually October. It's a 3-day event. It's the Supercharger Showdown event that they have every year. It's always an awesome event. It's October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Our part of the event will be on Saturday the 2nd. And again, we're talking about 35 to 40 blown cars. I mean, this is not a small event by any means. We're going to try to match everybody up as close as we can with ET, or what we think they'll run on ET-wise, because we really just want to do a great show. We could have put a lot of that show money into ET a mile an hour, but Bunny was never about that. Bunny was about the show. So we really wanted to put most of that sponsor money into the burnout contest and really let everybody of all, you know, avenues of drag racing, from top alcohol to nostalgia, get an opportunity to just, you know, blast the hides and put some rubber down and see what kind of show they can do.
I can tell you, I was there the first year that they built the building that the funny car's on, and it actually, coming from, you know, I'm 77 years old, so I was there, you know, watching Bunny win in '86 at the Keystones with that car.
Yeah.
And it hurt my heart when I saw them put it up there, because I'm like, the elements are going to kill this thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is an original body, like, we, you know, and so I'm all for trying to preserve it. I mean, I always thought that body should come off and be saved somewhere and put another, you know, something like that. That's the original Keystone National's winning car. I mean, that ain't going to come around again.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to see it up there. It was an awesome tribute that MIR did that. And, you know, I'm hoping that a lot of different generations to come are going to be able to see that. People are going to always ask her who Bunny Burkett was. And I just hope there's enough of us around to be able to really let them know who she was, because she was so much more than just a drag racer. Sure. She was an incredible, incredible woman. So her family has a lot to do with this tribute as well. I know her daughter, Julie, has been involved. She's been in contact with Royce and helping plan things. So, you know, I think it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be an awesome event. And if anyone's anywhere close to MIR, you know, they're already going to have a couple of jet cars. They're going to have the Pro Mod event, but this Bunny tribute is going to be something something different, you know, kind of like the old Pro Comp days when funny cars lined up with dragsters and alteds. So it's going to be an amazing show. I'm just really stoked to be a part of it.
Pete, you need to bring your Vega in and run the bracket race.
I was gonna say, there better be a bracket race because you're not putting me up against a fast car, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So normally at that race, there's like a $5,000 bracket race. Is that going to happen this year? Do you know anything about that, Jack?
You know, if I told you, I'd be lying to you right now. I've been so focused trying to get this part of the event, you know, down, you know, just between flyers and sponsors and credentials for the drivers. We also have a lot of media guys. I got to thank a lot of them. They're coming in on their own dime. We got a lot of great photographers that a lot of the nostalgia crowd is used to. And we also got some videographers coming. So there's going to be some great video going on down there. You know, all I can say is support the cars that are going to be there. A lot of them have free hero cards. You know, it's not like NASCAR. Every ticket is a pit ticket. You know, get your autograph, you know, buy a t-shirt from them, and just come out and have a good time. You know, bring the family, bring the kids. It's going to be a blast.
Very cool. And now, Jagger, you're also involved, as your schedule allows, with Tom Fox and his alcohol operation.
Yeah, me and my wife, you know, it's funny. I've always been Bill Naves' son. And then, you know, Dad became Jagger's father, you know, just talking to people. And now evidently I'm Laura Naves' husband. She's outshined me now. She's a backup girl. She did amazing down in Texas this past year. She actually got to back up a couple of nostalgia nitro cars, a fuel altered. And then when we were at 7580, she got to back up Bunny's car in one of Bunny's actual jackets. A lot of people are familiar with the pink jacket she wore. My wife got to wear that and got to back up LB. So it was just awesome. But we have been able to help Tom Fox over the years. Me and my wife, I got to crew for him up at New England when he ran, I think his first 20. And those guys are awesome, man. They're just a lot of fun to hang out with, a lot of fun to work with. You know, they're like us. They don't have a huge budget, but they have a lot of heart. And we have a blast running with those guys. So really stoked to have them coming to MIA.
Very cool. Now, I have to ask you a question before we cut you loose, though, Jagger. About 6 or 8 months ago, we were talking about your wife. We were talking on Facebook. Your wife is from the South.
Yeah.
You're from New England.
That's correct.
And I threw out the challenge of having you write Worcester on a piece of paper and have her pronounce it and video it. Did you ever do that?
I haven't, but you know, she busts my chops all the times for things that evidently I incorrectly say. But it's awesome being down here, down south. You know, when we lived up in New England, we only had a handful of races we could do each year. And then you were stuck in snow. You know, down here in North Carolina, I have probably 15 tracks within 3 hours of me. So there's a lot of racing going on. You know, we've been really blessed with my father's car. We have the grandkids, you know, we're 3 generations strong now. We got 4 my son and my nieces and nephews. They all junior dragster race now, which is awesome. And like you touched on earlier, you know, I've been building a car for about 10 years. And it will hopefully be out in October. It's going to be another kind of law enforcement theme with blue lights and a siren. The kids are going to love it. We're just going to go out and try to have a good time. So hopefully we're going to be out possibly at the Northeast Hall of Fame race in Dunbenson at Gallup Dragway. We may kind of bring it out there and try some licensing shots. But Laura will be there. Laura will be backing up the car. She seems to be a fan favorite now. And I don't mind taking a back seat to that. She's amazing.
That's very cool.
Well, I can tell you, I'm a fan favorite of the way you guys spell car. C-A-H or C-A-H-S, Cash. That is
C-A-H.
Yeah,
C-A-H.
there you go.
It's almost as good as the Fox on Parks sodas from up that way. Cars and Fox on Park. It just doesn't get any better.
Well, I try to tell the folks. I tell the folks down south. You know, they put R's in words that don't belong, like winder. I said we can't use them in car because you stole them and put them in winders. So there's only so many R's to go around.
Good point. Good point.
I lived in Concord for about 10 or 11 years, and all my friends loved the way I talked. The only complaint was that I talked too fast for them. Yeah.
Well, I guess I still have a little bit of that. But I go at home and they call me Big Country now. You know, they think I sound like some sort of original Southerner, I guess. But I can go home and listen to folks talk for about 15 minutes, and it's like being back at home. But we love it down here, man. There's a lot of racing. There's a lot of great tracks down here, a lot of support for drag racing. Unfortunately, we see too many tracks being shut down right now across the nation, but it really seems like the Northeast is taking a brunt of it right now. So hopefully we can get the newer generation out there, the junior drag guys out there, and really, get them back on track and, hopefully keep this sport alive. It's an amazing sport.
Very cool.
I think we do. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, you go ahead, Jerron. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I think you're on the right path. I know, Pete's not as old as I am, but match racing really was one of the things that was really popular in the 80s, and that's just disappeared. So I think you're on the right path to getting that, like, one day show, that Friday night or Wednesday night or whenever it may be. That needs to be brought back. Burnouts, long burnouts, and different things like that. The show is what's missing out of drag racing, in my opinion. And you guys are definitely on the right path with that. So I commend you on that.
That's actually to feed off of what Jerron just said. That's the whole thing that was going through my mind while you were talking. Is I remember watching the shows that Bunny was involved in, and it was exactly that. It was a show. I miss that. I could appreciate what all the pros are doing and how fast they're going and the amount of skill it takes to get a car down the track. But I miss the show. It's almost robotic now. And it sounds to me like your emphasis on promoting is to bring the show back to the show. And I like it. Keep doing what you're doing, because there are plenty of people out there that appreciate it and miss it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. When we send a contract out to a track, that's actually one thing that I don't do. I don't guarantee any ETs. A lot of the old school tracks don't care what you run on an ET. They want to see a show. They don't care if you run side-by-side 4.0s or side-by-side 480s, as long as there's big burnouts. When you look at series like Funny Car Chaos, touch on that real quick, the guys in the Midwest, Chris and Tara Graves have something amazing going on out there. We're running alcohol cars against big pump nitro cars down in Texas. Del Worsham came out. The guy ran like a 3:19 in the 8th mile. He ran up against cars. We had diesel funny cars, turbo funny cars, nitrous funny cars. And a lot of those guys do old school dry hops, just nasty burnouts. We got to spend a lot of time watching racing this weekend in Charlotte. And it's incredible to watch two cars, go 330 miles an hour. But you want to talk about some weak burnouts, there are no backup girls, and I understand it's a different level,
right.
But we really want to bring that back, because that's what's most important to us is the fans. Without the fans, we're nothing. Without a fan, I got no place to race my car. So if we can do a couple of big burnouts, a couple of old school dry hops, sign autographs, dress in some crazy uniforms. My wife actually dressed up like a cop down in Texas and had flash and blue lights on it. And she signed more autographs than the race car drivers did. So you're absolutely right. Bring back the show and, just do it for the fans, and Bunny's a big part of that. So we're going to keep it moving. We're going to try to do it in Bunny's name. And like I said, this event should be super successful. So I'm stoked to see where it goes.
Very cool.
Excellent. Best of luck to the show. I hope that the weather gods hook you guys up. And like I said, there's a bunch of people out there that appreciate what you do, both for keeping us safe and promoting these style of races. So thank you for what you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. It was awesome. I really appreciate you having us on here. Again, come out and support the event. Just support us, support the event, support the drivers, support the teams, and support Bunny Burkett.
Awesome, Jagger. Thank you very much for your time, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. You guys have a great night.
You do the same.
Talk to
Stay
you
safe.
soon, pal.
All right, later.
All right, Jagger Naves, everybody. Excuse me, Jagger Naves. Pardon me. I see. I told you I screwed it up.
You even asked me how to say it before the show
I
started.
know.
And you got it right the first
name,
time.
if you want your last
you said
name,
it wrong twice.
I'm the man for the job.
You guys have a good night.
All right,
You do the
Jagger,
same.
be good.
We'll see you.
Stay safe, my friend.
Kudos to him for keeping it in my hometown too.
There you go. All right, Jagger.
Hopefully he'll look you up when it comes time to paint that car, because how cool would that be?
Yeah, I'd love to do it. And to be honest with you, all right, we're all in business, but if anybody wants to charge full price to do that, that's just no. That's I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old school Bunny fan and it's whatever, but
I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. If you get hooked up with painting that car, I'll find a way to come down there across the weekend and give you a hand.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
that
The only thing I'm capable of is handing you tape and maybe rubbing some sandpaper on something, but I'll do it because that would be really cool.
I think it would be cool if we could do that and get a bunch of people and kind of film it and show whatever. Just get a bunch of volunteers. Yeah. For sure. I mean, we could really have a ball with it. And again, I'm not. We all got to make a living, but there's some things you just got to do for the right reasons, and that's. I mean,
listen, I spend a lot of money a lot of times on stuff I don't like, so this would be fine. This would be a big improvement.
to be honest with you, I'd paint it for free if someone could take care of the materials.
Right.
In the world, I wouldn't do that.
Yep.
I'll come down and video it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll figure out a way to get there. Even if I have to drive down to Connecticut and jump in with Pete, I'll go.
Yeah. I'll bring the motorhome down so you got a place to break your toe. It'll be perfect.
Listen, it's a northeast situation. Let's do it at Pete's shop.
It'd be all right with me.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be easier.
I'll send someone to go down and pick up the body.
Yep, exactly. So Chris, get in touch with Jagger and tell him we'll do that. We'll do it at Chris's shop and we'll film it. We'll make a whole deal about it. We'll make YouTube video about it.
I will reach out to him as soon as we're done tonight.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
All right. You'll paint it if somebody covers the materials, and we'll truck it from Maryland up to Connecticut.
Yeah, we'll do it at Pete's shop.
That would be badass.
I'm on it.
Scotty Wheels, I'm sure, would go down and pick the body up for us. We'll throw him some fuel money.
Yeah, that'll fit in his enclosed trailer easy.
Yeah, oh God,
yeah. No, for sure.
He goes down that way to get fuel all the time. So
yeah.
MIR, give me an idea of where it is based on like Baltimore.
It's probably 60 miles south of Baltimore. 60 to 70 miles south of Baltimore.
All right, so it's closer to like Arlington and DC-ish.
More it's on the
more west of there.
No, it's on the eastern coast. Potomac River. It's the Potomac River runs 5 miles from the track, basically.
Oh, like the Susquehanna or something like that.
No, okay. You know where DC Airport is? Reagan Airport.
Yeah, Reagan.
As a bird flies, as the crow flies, about 30 minutes east of there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so
it's
basically
almost,
between DC and the ocean.
Almost in Virginia. Yeah, almost in Virginia. So where I live at is the southern tip of Maryland, and that's where Budds Creek is. So we're in 15 minutes I can be in Virginia. And
okay.
The same way. It's 15.
Right. I'll reach out to him when we're done.
Yep. And I got one more big toenail, so we're good. We'll get the other one this time.
You sleep on the other side of the bed, you'll be fine.
Yeah, while you're painting it, Pete can hydro dip my plastic parts for my
perfect. Yeah, I could hydro dip something on the car if I have to.
I'm about to say, let's not get carried away, Chris. We're talking about the funny part here. You're still on the back burner. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll hydro dip a bunny or something and stick it somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll be nice, but I'll stick it somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be on the inside of the body where no one can see it, but it'll be perfect.
Oh man! So look, we are losing viewers profusely.
Yeah, gee, I wonder why.
Little did they know what they are getting themselves into when they signed on to watch this show.
I got to tell you, Chris, that was a pretty cool interview lined up.
Yeah,
I had no idea who he was or what he did, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yep. Jagger's an awesome cat. I've never met him in person, but I've talked to him a bunch of times online, and know people who know him, and
right.
He's a cool dude.
I followed his dad for a little bit, being that I'm I was gonna say alcohol fan, but I'm just a drag race fan, but alcohol funny car fan, the shooting star car. I know Charlotte, they kind of struggled a little bit. I think they sat out the first session and came back the second session and made a decent run, but they're still working out some bugs with that car. But
yeah, I think they had some blower problems or something.
Yeah, but no, that's definitely pretty cool. And it was funny because you said Naves, and I was like, thought it was Naves. What the heck? I was like, I've been saying Bill's name wrong all this time. I know. Then you said it again. He's like, you said it wrong.
Yeah.
I know someone very close and personal to me that gets their name pronounced wrong all the time too. So I get it.
I only did that once.
I know where you're coming from, J. Ron.
Exactly.
No, it's Jaron.
Oh, Jaron, that's I couldn't think of it. It was quick.
I'd rather J-Ron than Jaron. Like, what the heck? That's just, whatever.
All right, let's do some race results.
Yeah.
Maybe we
All
can
right,
get out of this
so-
thing at a normal time.
We
Yeah.
do. As usual, trying to find all the results for an open is virtually impossible.
Yeah, right.
So I got what I could get. I'll do the top 8 for Saturday. And you can do Sunday at the Dutch.
That works for me.
Very good. All right, top 8 shootout on Saturday at Maple Grove, the weekend of the Dutch Classic. In Super Comp, the winner, Doug Dahl Jr. over Dana Beauchamp. Super Gas. Unfortunately, I don't have any numbers to go with it. I took what I could get and ran with it. Super Gas, Tom Goldman, and I think he was in his beautiful Corvette.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, in the final, he ran dead on with an egg.
I believe
I
you're
saw
right.
a post about that.
Yep.
Runner-up in Super Gas was Kevin Robb. Super Street, Jay Neville over Dave. Here we go. Here's another butchered last name. Bergfeld.
Sounds good to me.
Close enough. Like I said, unfortunately, we don't have all the results. We have most of the results from the Dutch. Again, it's one of those, it's with anything to do with an open event, it's tough to get results.
Yeah, no doubt.
Pete's going to go ahead and do the 49th annual Dutch Classic .90.
So, just a quick note before I read you the results. If there's ever a question as to the caliber of racers that race in these smaller associations, this will definitely clear up some opinions on that. Rob Keister, who's a good friend of the show, as we all know, he does the Mid-Atlantic .90 series, and they swept the whole event as far as .90s go. Let's see, Joe Cambria, hopefully I got that one right. He won Super Comp. Bob Phillips won Super Gas, and Jay Neville, who also won the top 8, cleaned up in Super Street. Like I said, you got 3 competitors that race the smaller series. I'm just calling it smaller by car count, not by talent, obviously, because these guys went there, they showed up, they showed out, and Rob's got to be a little bit proud today and yesterday because his group did a hell of a job. And if I'm not mistaken, no, I'm definitely not mistaken. Rob Keister runner up.
Yes.
In Super Gas. And he begged me not to tell everyone that his reaction time in the final started with a 1. So I'm not going to tell anyone.
No, we're gonna keep that a secret. But
it was, he told me it was a crazy thing with, they both lit the bulb up at the same time. And I don't think either one of their, I don't think any one of their reaction times were stellar because of that. But you know what? Again, hats off to Rob. He doesn't do this thing full time.
Sure.
He spends way more time promoting than he does racing. So for him to hop into the car 3 or 4 times a year and make it to a final, and I want to say in an unconventional setup, because he does what a lot of people don't as far as the top end stop. Great job for promoting the series, and great job racing.
I don't want to take anything away from Keister's series at all, but those 2 names, Bob Phillips especially, he is a Super Gas racer that has been racing Super Gas for years. So he doesn't just run the association. He's been a big show Super Gas racer since the early 80s, since the invention of Super Gas. So again, not taking anything away from Keister's series, because he does run it too. but Bob Phillips is a huge name in Division One Super.
Oh, without a doubt.
And
Yeah.
also Joey Cambria would be, is I think they always had the. I'm drawing a blank again. His name.
Mr. Happy?
No, that's Daniel Despano.
Okay, just making sure you're-
But Joey's been racing the Division One Super Comp for a long time. Also, very heavy hitter. I want to say finished second or third in division points last year. Is I think leading points maybe now in Super Comp in the division. But again, not taking anything away, but those two guys have been racing a long time in Division One 890.
Yeah, and that's another testament to the series, that when you have that kind of racer to choose the race in Rob's series, I mean, you don't see too many professional baseball players going to play T-ball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna, any good racer wants to compete and they want to be challenged. So in order for them to race in whatever series they race in, they're bringing it, and so is the competition.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad that the major league players don't, because I'm like the reigning T-ball long ball hitter.
Oh, very nice. Good.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been known to T-ball my way out of some situations. But anyway,
Good deal. All right, so Chris, do you have the rest of the results from the Dutch? Because I have one in particular that I'm kind of happy to hear.
Okay, the only other one that I was able to scrounge up was the stock eliminator and went to Jack Mattias. I do not have an idea of who he went up against. All I know is that he won stock eliminator in, I believe, even the ATI Copo convertible.
Yep.
So
And,
that's all that I have.
So I just so happen to have the results from Superstock, because not only is he a great friend of mine, but he's on my Facebook feed, so it was kind of hard not to see it. But Richard Preiser won Superstock in his Mustang.
Richard.
I want to say 67 Mustang, but God, I hope I'm not screwing this up because I'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, Pete, you're killing us.
Was it 68? I don't know. It was
Pete,
a late 60s Mustang
You're out of the family.
that I've done a bunch of work on. And one thing that he's very proud of, and I don't blame him, is this is the first year he actually built his own motor for the car. And not only did he go the fastest he've ever went with this particular combination, but he did it himself and he won the show. So good for him. Hard work does pay off.
I know he's proud of his nickname also, and the reason I heard that he went fast because he used Chevrolet parts in it. But that's, I'm not one to gossip.
Just, Rich, remember, if you're watching the show, that came from him, not this guy. All right.
But at least I didn't forget what year his beloved Mustang is.
What year is it?
I'm not going to tell you because you're trying to get out of the situation. You're trying to put it on me again. No,
I just want to see if I'm right or not.
I just said he used Chevrolet rods. I didn't say he had a 72 Mustang like you did. It's okay.
I'm sure he'll be happier that I missed it by a year than you accused him of using Chevrolet parts. I'm telling you right now. All right, moving on. Richie.
All right. So congratulations, everybody who raced at the Dutch this past weekend. They did have a little bit of weather issue, but nothing horrible.
Wasn't it Steven Yantis that won the Hemi Shootout? I think I may have heard that also. Did we get any results on the Hemi Shootout?
Oh, hold on. Yes. Another good friend of the show, Aaron Williams, just sent me the results for the whole show. So I am going to slaughter the name, seeing as how I'm the one holding the phone. But comp eliminator, Mike Miskovsky.
Yeah, Miskovsky.
I got it. Sweet. We already said super stock and stock. We did the .90s. So top sportsman, Joey Heffernan.
Mm-hmm.
Top dragster, Alan Robinson. Pro mod. They had pro mod at the Dutch. Wow. Okay. Mike Decker Jr. let's see, junior 6 to 9, there is no listing for it. What is, top dragster, top sportsman combo, Alan Robinson. I feel like I said his name once already. So what did they do? They ran them both and then did a combo?
That's news to me. I've never heard of that happening before, but I've also never heard pro mod at the Dutch either. So
Yeah, that's a very good point.
special.
Junior stock, Glenn Briglio.
Yep, Glenn Briglio.
I think so, right?
Yeah, it's Briglio.
Top stock is Matt Morgan, and the heavy shootout is Steven Yanis.
Yep, Steven
Is that
Yanis.
right? Yanis. Yep. Yeah. So, Aaron, thank you very much for sending those results, because as of a half an hour ago, they weren't even available. So thank you.
Now
Well, thank you, Aaron.
that was a pretty heavy star-studded winner circle with a lot of those guys.
I got to tell you, there's a lot of very familiar names there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Morgan is one of the former IHRA top stock champions that, when that class was one of the pro classes over in IHRA, he did a lot of winning over there. Glenn Briglio is also a name that's been around Division I stock and super stock for a long time, well known for fast cars. Mike Miskovsky is that's Mike and Pam Miskovsky. I believe that's the dragster that Ronnie Proctor was driving last year and the year before. Another name known for making horsepower and winning rounds in D1 Comp Eliminator.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, and
All right,
also
so that moves us to Charlotte. Could you, Chris, could you change your background, please, so that it's appropriate for what we're about to do?
Absolutely, I can do that. Sorry, I was typing something.
what was on his background? It looks like race cars.
There it is. Right.
That
But now we have the Carolina Nationals.
Presented by Dewalt.
Granted, his big head is in the way, but we know what it says.
But how about Dewalt coming on pretty much at the last minute to sponsor Charlotte? That was great for those guys. That company, it's a huge company, and an area that's construction known. So that's
Right.
That's very important. Thanks to Dewalt.
I didn't know that they came on kind of last minute, but I will tell you that when I saw it, I was pretty surprised, because I don't think they've ever sponsored a national event before, right?
No, never have. I mean, they're a parent company with Mac Tools, so
Yeah, we know what Mac Tools has done for the sport. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that's.
But you know what? Anytime you see a new name, that means we're doing good.
Going the right thing.
So that's a beautiful thing. We like to see new names. I hope we have 24 events next year with 24 new names that we never saw. That'd be all right with me.
And the schedule was released the other day. So
I saw that, and I can't lie, I'm a little concerned about that.
I didn't look, but the only thing I've been concerned about is if I'm going to be able to keep my average grade points up, because if next year is anything about this year, or anything like this year, you're going to need 8 or better to get in almost anywhere, except for Division I. Division I hasn't been filling, but that's a bracket race country. But everywhere else.
The only thing that I'm happy about is that the only event that I could get in Division I is only a 3-day event, not a 4-day event.
Okay.
But I believe it's a little earlier this year, because I don't remember taking any time off from school. It's June, I want to say 3rd through 5th, and I'm
you're
still in
talking
school.
about New England, I assume.
Yes.
And is that Epping?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's like the 2nd through the 5th.
I'm a little concerned about that. So hopefully by then, I'll have an instructor, and I'll be able to sneak away for a couple of days, because
that's like graduation time, right?
Pretty damn close. Yeah. And unfortunately, now that I'm kind of running the show in my department, I'm a lot more involved with the graduation stuff, getting the kids their awards, making sure that their dues are paid on time, all the stuff that I didn't have to do last year.
Sure.
So, I mean, obviously that has to take a front seat to my racing habit, but
Sure.
you only get one crack at it a year. I sure hope that, hope that I can pull it off somehow.
Yeah.
Not that anyone listening cares about my personal problems, but what the hell, I figured I'd share them anyway.
We do.
You
We
probably
do.
you probably got at least 7 people that care about that.
That many?
Yeah,
You think they're all listening right now?
I think that's 7. Yeah.
They
Wow.
were.
All right,
Well,
well,
6 are your kids and the other one's your wife. So
all right. Well, send me your addresses, everyone, and I'll send you Christmas cards.
Now he's
live
gotta
in
go
your
out and buy
house.
a box of them.
What's that, Chris?
I said, now you just gotta go out and buy a box of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Small box.
All right, so the Carolina Nationals, as usual, we'll start out with the .90s. Super Street was not contested at this event, so my job's a little easier because I only have to announce 2 classes instead of 3. So with that being said, Bob Pros, did I say that right?
Yep, Bob Pros from
Bob
Indiana.
Pros runs an 892 with a 0 to defeat Michael Handrus.
Handress.
Handrus?
Handress.
It sounds more exotic when you say Handrus. Kind of like Alejandro.
That's what I just said. Lady Gaga right there, baby.
Well, anyways, congratulations to Bob. And in Supergrass,
Supergrass. Okay.
Super Gas, Craig Porter in his Ford Mustang runs a little bit too quick, 89 with a 3 to defeat Iggy. And I was just boasting about Rob's .90 series. Well, Iggy is a regular supporter of that series. He runnered up when he went just a tick faster than Craig, 88 with a 5. And Craig gets the win and knocks down a national event. It says here that it's his 3rd career victory. I don't know if this is his 3rd Wally or his 3rd national event Wally, but in either way, he's starting to build a trophy shelf. So good for him.
Well, I wanted to elaborate because there's some pretty cool stories in both of those categories. You go back to Super Comp, Bob Pros' daughter, Allison, was down to 3 cars. So Bob got the bye run with 3 cars left, and Allison had to run Mike Handrus. So it would have been pretty cool. We saw earlier this year where Kyla Mazeris and Joe Mazeris, father and daughter, shared the winner circle together with 2 different classes, but this would have been one of the first times that a father and daughter were in the finals together. But Mike dropped a 19 dead 8 on Allison and put her out in the semis, and then came back and went red to her father, Bob. But that's saying something to get both cars down to 3 cars at a national event.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And in Super Gas, you said about him, Craig, building up a trophy case. I think he has a ton of divisional Wallies. That is his only his 3rd national Wally, which I was surprised to find that out myself. But Craig pretty much dominated the old TRW All-Stars when it was the TRWs back in the 80s in Super Street, and has been around Superclass racing for years, has 3 of the nicest cars that you will ever see. And the Mustang that he won the Carolina Nationals with, a lot of people don't know, is the former Nitro Fish Mustang that Scott Jeffrey ran in Pro Stock that he crashed at Phoenix. Well, Craig bought the car wrecked from Jeffrey it was Hurley Blakeney's car. He bought it wrecked. I actually helped load that car in the trailer to get it back to Kim Smith's shop in Texas, and he fixed it, and he's been running Super Gas with that for the last few years. But Iggy, obviously, Division 1, like you said, Craig's Division 1, Michael Hunter's Division 1. Division 1's just been dominating here lately, a lot of classes or whatever. But I mean, Iggy's got that very aggressive throttle stop that is like no other. And it's just,
Well, it's like one other. He's a lot faster than me, but I do the same thing.
The only reason he's more aggressive is because he's faster.
Because he's faster and lighter,
Yeah, I think it's you, Don Bangs, and Iggy that have that throttle stop like that is just ungodly deceptive. I kind of, just like Keister's deal, I wish they'd ban aggressive throttle stops.
Right.
Because they all beat me when they do that. It's like,
yeah. It definitely gives it a different look, that's for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, hats off to all those guys and all Division 1 and the pros family. Congrats to them for taking 2 cars down to 3.
Very impressive. And let me tell you something, that's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
It's a boatload of work.
for sure.
Because I mean, for the 15 years ago, the last final that I was in, I remember just getting my car ready, looking at the weather, trying to figure out what it's going to do. Fuel, cooling it off. Well, I can't imagine doing that times 2 or 3. That's
sure.
just, God bless him.
And that was Bob's first national event win, by the way.
Oh, very nice. Nice.
All right. Moving on to Pro Modified at the Dewalt Carolina Nationals at Zmax. Jose Gonzalez in the Chevy Camaro defeated Mike Castellana in another Chevy Camaro. Jose ran a 579 with a 2 at 248 to take out Castellana, 582 at 245.
Yeah, Jose in the El General car has been a dominant force in Pro Mod this year. I mean, that's been the car to beat at almost every event he showed up to. So kind of, there were some cars there that had a chance to beat him. Jeffrey Barker ran really well all weekend with the nitrous Toyota Camry. And even, Brandon Snyder, I mean, but Jose has just, been on a tear. So good for that Bahrain 1 team to get a win.
All right, Top Dragster presented by Vortex Superchargers. Danny Nelson, 614 with a 9 at 224 to take out JB Strasweg, who ran 627 with a 4 at 210. Nelson gets the advantage off the line, goes around Strasweg to take the win. This is Nelson's 7th career victory.
Win one for the old guys. Danny Nelson is a heck of a guy, heck of a driver, and former world champion in the class. And I think he took over the points lead by winning that race again nationally. So I think we're going to see him out on the West Coast for the last couple of races trying to win that world championship.
Right.
And JB is a nitrous car. JB Strasweg is a nitrous car, one of the last few nitrous cars that can contend with one of the fast fields, like especially like at Indy where it's a pretty much 620 some bump. You see 1 or 2 nitrous cars, and JB is always in the hunt. So hats off for him to take a nitrous car to the final.
Very cool. Top Sportsman, again, presented by Vortex Superchargers. Vince Hoda in his Chevy Camaro, 654 with a 9 at 212 to defeat the Motorman, Sandy Wilkins, and his Chevy Camaro ran 652 with a 5 at 212 miles an hour.
Vince Hoda has been around racing a long time, and that final round was kind of a stacked final. I mean, Sandy Wilkins and Sam Fleet kind of just owns the winner circle at Charlotte and in Division II Top Sportsman, period. I mean, I think he's won 2 races this year already. But 008 to 16 and in 6, both of them won over the Dow. I mean, that's an 8-mile bracket race numbers there. So,
Right.
Can you imagine a race being decided by under 10 thou at 200 miles an hour?
Exactly. Yeah.
So insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I remember right, Sandy's from over either in or right around Mooresville.
Yeah, his shop is actually next door to Mooresville Dragway in that Dirty Mo area, Mooresville, well, like NASCAR country, because he actually used to work for Rush. Rush Yates was in the prototype and the prototype division at Rush Yates. So he's a very smart guy and opened up his own engine shop.
Yeah, he only opened it a few years ago too, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
it's pretty new, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and he's made it pay off. I mean, I don't know how he finds time to make so much power for his own car, building everybody else's engines, but it's pretty impressive.
All right, moving on to Stock Eliminator. New Hampshire native Tim Stickles in his Chevy Malibu, 1219 with a 4 at 98 miles an hour to take out Brad Plord in the Chevy Nova, 1106 with a 7 at 107. Stickles got him off the line and Plord broke out trying to run him down. This is Tim's first national event win.
Brad Plord is one of those big name heavy hitter, sportsman racers. And he admittedly said he missed it in the final. and Timmy definitely deserved to win. But Timothy wasn't stellar all weekend. He drove good enough, obviously, to get to the finals, but he stepped it up when he needed to in the final. 004, and killed some ET on the top end to take out Brad. So Timothy stepped up to the plate when he had to.
Yeah, Tim and his dad have put a lot of time into that Chevy Malibu. They kind of thinned their herd out a little bit and focused on that. And I think you can honestly say they turned that Malibu around.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car too.
The Malibu Blues.
Yeah, Malibu Blues. Yeah, it's a.
Yep. Yeah. All right, Super Stock. You may have heard this name before, maybe not.
Once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice. It's probably the winningest sportsman car in all of drag racing.
It is.
It is. Definitely, I was being sarcastic.
It's the winningest car in all of NHRA drag racing.
In all of NHRA drag racing. Of course, we're talking about Dan Fletcher in the famous Chevy Camaro, the Micro Strategies Chevy Camaro. Ran up against Herbie Null. Dan, 10:41 with a 1 at 102, defeated Herbie in his Chevy Camaro, who went red. Dan came in with 104 career wins, 53 in Super Stock, and left with 105 career wins.
Yeah, that's saying something. I know the NHRA wanted to put that car in the museum years ago, because I believe it's been about 7 or 8 years that it's been the winningest car in all of NHRA drag racing. No single car has won more races than that car. Because you look at somebody like Bob Clinton or whatever, they did it with multiple cars, but Dan's won that many races with one single car. So that's impressive. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people don't know that, winning is this, but no, that car has won more national wins than any other car in history of drag racing. So it deserves to be in the museum, but right now, keep on racing and keep on winning.
Yeah, I mean, you even think about like John Force and the amount of wins that he's come up with.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's ever won any more than 10 with a single car.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, so to have that many laps and that,
and then to, like you said, think about the laps, because when you talk about professional race, you're talking about 4 round wins per event.
Right.
Well, that just had to
very good point.
Counts maybe at times, So,
yeah.
It's got some laps on it. So Dan Fletcher, obviously Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame sportsman material, has won in comp, won in super comp, won in super gas, won in stock.
Right.
Just multi-talented racer, and and had to go through some hitters. Anthony Bertozzi, Emily Volkman, was 008 against Ryan. He stepped up when he had to. Herbie Nolan, on the other hand, was taking out some hitters too. Herbie took out, the world champion Brian Warner, took out Victor Cagnazzi, Ronnie Huntsberry. He had to, anytime you win a national and go to the finals, you got to take out some hitters.
Yeah, there's not too many people that get lucky getting into the finals. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's no easy road to the finals for sure. Yeah, for sure. Unless you're in like Pro Stock or Funny Car or something. I'm just kidding.
Or Super Street,
Super Comp. If you can make it past Giron, you're all set.
I've got a.
All right, so there are some gimmies in Super Comp.
There's some, like 2 people have gone on after they beat me to win national event. So it's like everybody wants to race me because they know they're going to win the race if they beat me.
Oh boy. All right, moving on to Comp Eliminator, another name that we should be very incredibly ridiculously familiar with. Frank Aragona in his blue Roadster, 760 with a 0, 149, defeated Larry Pritchett in the Pontiac Sunfire. Pritchett got him off the line, but ran out of power near the top end, and Frankie went by and took his 16th career win, 15th in comp, and his second win this year, and his second or third win in as many weeks too, I believe.
Yeah, it's 3 finals and 2 wins in the last 3 weeks. Runner up at Indy, 1 Maple Grove and 1 here. And I just got to correct you with Larry Pritchett. I still think Frankie had enough for him, but Larry got out of shape. He dropped the clutch, was good on the tree, went to second gear, and the car just kind of made a bunch of crazy moves, headed for the center line. And he tried to wrestle it for a while, but he did the right thing, just bumped the clutch in. But,
Right.
Save it for another day.
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Top Alcohol Funny Car. Again, another name everybody should be familiar with. Sean Bellemure in a Chevy Camaro, 553 with a 2 at 263. Defeated Nick Janouk in the Chevy Camaro, 555 with a 4 at 262. Bellemure wins his 4th national event this season and 24th of his career.
I hope Nick Janik isn't watching, but it's okay. What can we say about the three the three Bs, Bartone and Sean Bellemere and Steve Boggs? I mean, they're fighting for a championship against Doug Gordon. Gordon and Bellemere won everything there is to win this year in Alcohol Funny Car. But Nick Janik came up from the West Coast, Division 7 racer, and went to the finals. So hats off to him. He's had a pretty tough last 3 weeks. Blew up a car, caught it on fire at Indy, and then went to the semis, I believe, Maple Grove, and then runner up at Charlotte.
All right. Top Alcohol Dragster, Matthew Cummings, 532, 277 to defeat Karen Stalba, who had trouble off the line. She ran a 1066 at 95 miles an hour. Obviously, Cummings got out of the gate first, started to just walk away. Again, Karen's car just kind of lugged off the line, and she flipped the switch and said, "That's it, I give up."
So I know what happened there, and I'm not sure what the cause and effect was. But if you watch the race, when they were backing up Karen, the crew guys were kind of arguing about which way to go. Like the one guy behind the car was really adamant, go left, and was shaking his head like, go left. And they weren't, they weren't together on that. When they backed up, they really kind of argued a little bit more. And I don't know if that was the cause of it, but basically the reason Karen's car didn't go is they left the throttle stop on it from the burnout. So yeah, that was a kind of a bad deal for Karen. Again, not saying that their argument caused them to forget, but it kind of looked like they were arguing.
Just kind of got out of sorts, and
yeah, exactly.
Stuff happens.
Through their routine into chaos, essentially.
Yep.
I mean, we all know from everyday life. We all have certain routines, right? I mean, it could be as simple as, waking up, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, shit, whatever.
Yep.
And we know that, like, if you get up and normally the first thing you do is go brush your teeth, and for some reason someone left the dog out last night, right? I mean, it just, something so stupid could throw you off. Now imagine that amplified by 100.
Right, exactly.
And only having a very limited amount of time to make it right. And I mean, it's
for sure.
It's definitely a tightrope walk, that's for sure.
I know that just for me, how I get in the car and put my belts and stuff on, that if I am, distracted by that, I kind of start over, because in the past, I'm going to forget something if I don't do it in that succession. So for sure, that's actually.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't reach one of my seat belts, it's like, just call the race off. Just call it off. It's over. Fire up the motorhome. We're going home.
Well, I'm not that bad. I'm a lot more stupid than you are, Pete. I've gone on the track with no seatbelts on, so we're gonna make the run.
Right. Geron will have the seatbelt in his teeth. Yeah, this will work.
We're good. Yeah, but you can't see the strap is across your eyes. Don't worry.
Yeah, right. We're good. Don't worry about a thing. He's biting on the chin strap for the helmet. This will be fine.
I accidentally had the top bulb on and accidentally reached down to like do something. I just felt like the belts were whatever and released them by accident. It was like, well, I ain't got time to put them back on. So.
Oh God.
I only went like 7:30 something, so it wasn't like I was doing anything.
Yeah, well, the good news is you rip the throttle so many times going down the track. By the time you go over the stripe, you're only doing 25 miles an hour. So
slow, yeah. The only time I'm ever in danger is doing a time run. Other than eliminations, I'm not going fast enough.
Yeah, no, it don't matter. Yeah. You lose 15 mile an hour from the half track to the finish line. So whatever.
All right. Moving on to Pro Stock Motorcycle, Angel Sempisi. Now you got me screwed up. Angel Sampere and their Suzuki 686 at 196 to take out Joey Gladstone on his Suzuki. I have no idea if those are both the quad valve motors or not. 715 with a 6 at 154. And of course, before we get into the dialogue of Pro Stock Bike, do have to talk a little bit about that wreck. Apparently the rider is okay. He's just got some broken bones and other things, and we'll be having surgery, I think, today or tomorrow.
Yeah, he got into the wall pretty hard with his leg. I think, had he been able to stay away from the wall, I think that's what happened. But he had some extensive compound fractures in his leg from hitting the wall. And that was Corey Reed, actually, who did that. And it seemed like, a lot of the riders in the left lane were having that same problem with the bikes getting blown over into that other lane. And not sure, what that was. I know they passed the grandstands and there's a little bit of wind there, but just from what they were saying there at the track, it wasn't that windy, but for some odd reason it happened to multiple riders.
I remember going to the Englishtown Nationals one year, and Angel hit the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see, half a dozen bikes before her in both lanes.
Yeah.
You see them move a good half, 3/4 of a lane over to the right. Something about where they clear the grandstands or whatever, and the wind coming through, and it's like you couldn't help but have the feeling that it was only a matter of time. And sure enough, it happened to her.
Sure.
She didn't get hurt, fortunately, but just the bikes don't have very much shielding for the elements, that's for sure.
Well, that and the biggest thing, sorry, Chris, is just that, on a flat rear tire, you can't lean the bike. If you had a rounded, like regular motorcycle tire,
right,
they wouldn't have that issue. They could lean the bike over, move it, but that flat tire is just not going to lean and turn.
The video that I saw, it looked like he was having troubles right from the get-go. It looked for whatever that's worth, like he had tire shake right from the hit. And then it just, whatever happened, it got progressively worse as he went down the track. And then, you could see him, he was hard over to the left, and the bike just said, nope, not today, I'm going right.
I didn't see the run. How far down was he when he hit?
Well, he went through the finish line and immediately stuck his left leg out, his knee out, to try and get some ballast over. And it kept pulling. And about halfway through the shutdown area, maybe 3/4, it just went over. And he clipped the front wheel of Joey Gladstone, and the wheelie bar just missed Joey Gladstone, went over his head. So it could have been bad for both of them.
Wow.
And I put the video on the page, Pete.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. But to add insult to injury, those are teammates too. So Corey Reed, ran into his teammate. And for Joey to go to the final, and he had Angel tattooed in the final on the tree, that race was over. And the kill switch that they wear on their wrists actually popped out of the bike and shut the bike off. That's the only reason Angel caught him. Yeah, so it's just talk about adding insult to injury on in that situation. You got to really feel for that team over there.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Pro Stock Car. Kyle Koretsky in his Chevy Camaro, 662 with a 9 at 207 to defeat Greg Anderson in his Camaro, 663 with a 9 at 208.
And I know Jerron is going to like to comment on this one.
Well, he got his first win, which is great. It was funny because I was going to text him after the final if he had lost that, hey, don't worry, we're going to get our first wins together in Vegas, but he got his first win there without.
He was clearly not on the same wavelength as you, Jerron.
No.
Damn impatient kid. Congrats to him. I know that a couple of weeks ago, when Erica beat him in the final, that I'm a big Erica Enders fan. So I was happy to see that. And I know that Jerron obviously has nothing against Erica, but wanted to see Kyle knock one down. And we all pretty much agreed that it's only a matter of time. And
it was coming.
That time was a very short period. So congrats to him.
For sure. There was a little bit more controversy in Pro Stock that a lot of people didn't see with believe it was the second round race between Wally Stroop and Aaron Stanfield. Something's up there. There's definite footage. They have Aaron red lighting, and Aaron's car never moved. And the footage, if you slow it down, it shows Wally's car moving about a half a car before Aaron's car even moves, but it says Aaron red lighted. And Erica says that or Elite has showed that there's no footage of the car moving, or no, they have data showing that the car didn't back out of the beams.
Right,
I'm
right.
pretty sure a stage lock is in effect at an NHR National anyway, so I don't think that could happen. But
Yeah.
There were some weird things with timing. We'll get to Top Fuel in a minute, but it kind of makes you wonder. There was a mistake in Top Fuel. The footage is, I don't know if you can find the footage, Chris. I know Erica Ender's Racing page put it up, but it's pretty definitive that Wally moved first and Aaron got red lighted.
Wow.
I saw like a super slow-mo earlier. Let me do the funny car while you guys are talking. I'll scout around and see if I can find it.
Sure.
Funny car, Tim Wilkerson and his Ford Mustang 392 with a 7 at 331 took out Cruz Petragon in the Dodge Charger 394 with a 7 at 325.
What could you say about Tim? Right? You hope to God that if you go through a dry spell like he did, that once the gates open, it starts pouring like crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's huge that your first win in forever is at Indy. And then here we go. What is this, the second race after Indy, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
So, he's 2 for 3 with one of them being Indy after a long dry spell. And it almost makes you wonder if you even remember the struggles once something like that happens,
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's in the hunt for the championship. That's
right. And he got out at the right time too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He didn't wait, at the second or third race of the season. So that's, and I'm sure people have watched they've done some clips on him and his little small shop and things like that. But that's just what makes it cooler about Wilkerson is that he doesn't have the super team. He doesn't have, the big, huge shot with 14 transporters and, they got to unload the car outside and then, push everything in. I mean, that's what we do. That's what you do.
And let's not forget about the endless amounts of data that most teams have.
Absolutely.
Right? That he doesn't.
He's a single car team. I know he's had some alliances in the past with some other teams, but I'm not sure that still even goes on.
Right.
Yeah, he's under teamed, understaffed as far as, he said he's, down with some crew members the last few weeks, they're all volunteer or whatever. I mean, that goes back to what, NHR needs more, of that. And, do we need the super teams? Absolutely. But we need more single car teams. We need those, those teams like that are, struggling, but can turn the win light on if the stars align, so to speak, or whatever. And, he's got a good crew chief. Richard Hartman's been around forever. And, he may have shortage in that money and in, team, but the brain power there's no shortage over there at all.
Yeah. I think something happened to your mic. Did you hear that, Chris? Yeah.
I got a little tinny.
Yeah, got a lot tinny. Get closer, will you?
I don't know if I can get any closer.
Smack it.
Oh God, no, forget it. I'd rather not hear you. Back up.
You don't want to see this look, any closer. It's like that's my makeup girl.
It's kind of like coming and going.
That's weird.
Yeah. Either way.
I apologize to everybody for my team voice.
No worries, no worries.
I apologize to Tim Wilkerson and his
Top Fuel.
Very quickly, I know the video was out. I saw it earlier, but it appears that the video may have been removed.
Oh.
HRA and its secret society is taking it down. That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, that makes for an even better story.
Yeah, right.
I'm relentless in my search. When we are done, I will find it. I guarantee it.
Interesting.
I'll call Erica and have her put it up now.
Yeah, there you go.
No, Say here, I got an email for you. Send it to him.
Yeah, NHRAers are gonna take it off our website.
Well, they just may.
They'll have to call up Zuckerberg and see if he'll kick it in and lock it down.
It'll end up getting fact checked or something. I'll end up getting booted from Facebook. For the
Yeah,
rest of my
yeah.
life.
But Chris, when you get booted, it'll be 3 years from now. It won't be tomorrow. So don't worry about it.
Very true. Very true. All right. Top fuel dragster, Josh Hart and his independent team. They're actually having a really good year, all
Yep.
things considered, being an independent team. I'll buy their onesies, not associated really with anybody that we know of. They may be secretly, but we don't know that for a fact. Went up against Brittany Force. Josh, 377 with a 0 at 324 to defeat Brittany Force, 375 with a 1 at 320. Now, I messaged Pete earlier today, John, and I blame you two for this one. Whenever there's results for Top Fuel Dragster and Brittany Force is up there, what's the first thing I look at?
Reaction time, baby. Yeah, and so listen, I'm sure I said it last time, and I'm going to say it again. I don't feel right talking about reaction times of drivers that are driving machines that I can't even think about, much less drive.
Okay. Well, I'm going to butt in and say I do. I don't feel like I realize that there's a Christmas tree in the middle of the racetrack. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's at the end of the day, she's still a professional driver, right? She still has to get the job done. And even though I can't do it, I'm also not the one getting paid to do it. So I guarantee you, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I guarantee you give me those unlimited funds, you sit my fat ass in that seat, and I'm going to learn how to cut a light sooner or later. I am pretty confident of that. It's painful because I'm a Brittany Force fan. So, I'm a huge John Force fan. I'm a very big Brittany Force fan. So I hate saying this, but WTF, what is going on? I cut a light.
That's, here's my take on it. Knowing a lot of the team members from some of the teams and talking to them about like sportsman racing and things, they don't know anything about sports racing, okay?
Right.
And Brittany Force or Courtney or Ashley, none of them stayed in Super Cup very long. Okay?
Right.
In my opinion, not long enough to learn anything. Okay. And that's fine because that wasn't their focus. I get that. But, there is a core connection between Sean Langdon's and cutting a light, and your Caleb Belushi's and cutting a light, or your Salinas and cutting a light. The Salinas group, I love them to death, but they're another group that doesn't know their Christmas tree exists. Like they use it to stage, and then they're like, "All right, so should I go now?" And it's like you got the fastest cars in the planet,
right?
But to their defense, what I'm getting at is, I just think that there's not enough, if anybody, in their camp that is a racer, so to speak, that like knows, cutting light is important. You've got it. They're more focused on how fast it was, how good the car ran, how this, how that. And that may be, I don't know if I can be a reaction time liaison to some of these teams, but I'll go in there and show them.
Right.
David Grubnick's job is to make sure their number one qualifier, they win the race. David's job is not to teach her how to cut a light. And I think there's nobody on the team, on any of these teams that are there focusing on reaction times.
Right.
And, I think that's just, in my opinion, IMO, the main problem with a lot of pro teams, in the nitro category.
Right. What do you got, Chris?
Round 1, 83. Round 2, 95. Round 3, 97. Round 4, the final. Hart with a 44, and she had a 72.
Now, here's one thing that I find interesting about those numbers. They're grouped together pretty good.
Very good. Yeah.
So is it something with the car? I mean, I know just from watching, I know Erica is an absolute assassin with clutch linkage. And I mean, she literally has helped out teammates with, hey, something's not right. So let's speed up the linkage. Let's do something. And I mean, obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what they're doing, but you know, I only know what they report on TV or what I see on Facebook. But to me, I look at a grouping and I see, you know, if you're living within 20 or 25 thou consistently, well, can't someone do something? And again, that might be something along the lines of maybe no one in the crew even has experience with, listen, they make the car safe, the car gets down Broadway, they go fast. But that's one part of it.
Yep.
Right? You could have the fastest car on the property, which she has time and time again. But unless you're holding the trophy, and especially when you go 200 faster in the final round and you're not holding the trophy, someone in that camp needs to figure something out with that car. And Chris, by what you just told me, I'm almost wondering now if it's not as much her fault as it is something's going on with the car.
Let me add one more thing to this conversation. We'll go back. Let's look at Josh Hart, her competition, who won the event.
Yeah.
Round one, a 111. Round two, a 61. Round three, a 49. And again, a 44 in the final against her.
Right. So you could pretty much
Not
throw
that
out
any
the
of us
first
could
round.
do any better, but
Yeah, first round happens, whatever. But again, from the second round to the final, he's grouped within 20.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, that's pretty damn good for that monster.
Now, I'm not going to 100% disagree with there could be something done with the car, not totally her fault. And the reason why I won't 100% agree is because we can go back to her stats for the past few months, and they're horrible.
Right.
Let's wait and see what she does at St. Louis. Is she going to be 135? Is she going to be whatever? But I will say, in my findings over the years, so being on the inside for my team over the years and alcohol teams, and just being at the track, being around on the inside, I will say the one fact that I've noticed about a lot of pro drivers is if they did not come from a sportsman or bracket or whatever, where reaction time was emphasis. The problem that they have, so most all the crew chiefs will tell the drivers that they need to stay shallow. So
Shallow. I was wondering if that was another factor too.
So now that is a factor, but not how you think. So I've seen this firsthand. That's why I say it's fact. I'm not going to name any names, but I know pro drivers for a fact. I've said it on the conversation. The crew chief said, "Hey, this round, we could go low for the round. We could get some extra points. Blah blah blah. So I need you to stay shallow, right?"
Right.
And being that's not, they're not used to that racing, that being something that they always do. So bracket racers, what are we always trying to do? Flicker the butt, right?
Stage as shallow as you can, right?
So that's the norm for us. So what I've watched on multiple times is these drivers go up there and they focus so much on getting shallow stage, then they miss the tree because their focus is on that because it's not second. If I say, Pete, all right, I need you to go shallow this time, really, really flicker it. You're going to really flicker it, still be down low because that's not out of the norm.
Out of the ordinary, right?
Right. Yeah,
But if you tell me roll 30 out of the lay box and go in deep, it's going to be a cluster because it's not something I'm used to doing.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But that's the one thing is that so over the years, so many pro drivers and heads up drivers focus on A to B, just getting the car from the start line safely to the finish line. The reaction time is never something. You gotta also look at the bulk of the passes that most heads up or professional racers make are test passes or qualifying passes where the reaction time doesn't mean anything. So if 65% of the time, if they're behind the wheel, they don't have to focus on cutting the light. That other time, it's not going to be second nature. It's not going to be something that they're used to doing. So I think, again, there's not enough focus put on it because, for one, they're trying to keep sponsors. They're trying to, do hospitality. They're trying to, whatever. So not saying that they don't have time to hit the practice tree, but it's more than hitting the practice tree. It's that.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you hit the practice tree at your house and you're a hero? And you're letting go of that thing and you're like, like this, that's the equivalent of hitting a golf ball in the driving range.
Right, exactly.
Like, I'm going to get a hole in one on every hole. And then you get out there and it's reality.
Now listen, I don't want anybody to take this. I do not turn the wind light on. Okay. It's a fact. This year I have not turned the wind light on a lot. But I never hit the practice tree. I haven't hit a practice tree in years. Okay. I've had like 46 double lights this year. I never hit the practice tree. I'm the one that doesn't believe it. Now there's other drivers that say, hey, you got to hit the practice tree, and whatever works for them.
You got it.
But
yep.
I'm just a person that if that isn't your focus, if that isn't part of your program, it's never going to be part of your program. And I don't know again, do I set up a business, liaisons for all the pros to try to teach them how to cut light? I don't know. Maybe I might start tomorrow. Never know.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm just saying, but that's what I see from the outside looking in. Why there's Torrance focuses on a little bit, but he could be better. He's left the door wide open. I think for him, he doesn't even, in my opinion, Torrance doesn't have to be good anymore.
Right.
Because
it's like the WJ of old.
Well, because
when you had a 10th on the field, you don't need to chop the tree down.
Well, not only that, and this isn't taking anything away from Steve, this is more of a compliment to that team, is that when they make mistakes, everybody else makes bigger mistakes. I mean, that, to be honest with you, that race when Brittany was in front, she was barely in front. Had she been better on the tree, because Steve wasn't that good on the tree, had she been better on the tree, it would have been it would have been a car in front of it.
Right.
And it wouldn't even have been a situation where they as soon as they went to the finish line, the wind light didn't come on. They'd be like, whoa, something's, problem. But it took them a few minutes to figure out what happened, So, again, I feel like Steve doesn't have to, try that hard anymore. They do. They're still a killer team.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, something needs to be done with the reaction times, and other than going out racing in a different series, I don't know if there is a solution to it.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that you would need to hire a Jack Beckman or a Sean Langdon or a Frank Hawley or someone that could say, all right, let's look over the data, let's see what you're doing.
Right.
And we got to work on this because, I mean, how do you tell, sponsors, the one thing about a major sponsor is you can't tell me that the owner of Monster Energy, which I guess is ultimately Coca-Cola, is going to look at that scoreboard and see that she ran a 75 and the other guy went a 77, but his light is on. Why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and they don't know what goes into getting one of these things on the track or cutting a light. At some point, you're going to have to start answering to some people.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Well, if you see it happen a lot, you're going to have that. I don't see it being as big as a problem as you think, because, that's one of the issues with the sport is it doesn't, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. It doesn't, those years are gone.
Right.
A sponsor doesn't care if you lose first round every week, but you're selling more product for them than anything. They don't care.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. So, but again, if it starts to be a well publicized situation, at some point, if Straight Line is sponsoring, me and I'm bringing in, cars after car after car, but you keep hearing, man, your guy sucks on the tree. At some point, you're going to have a conversation. So
that's why I only kept my sticker on your car for like 2 races. I'm like,
right. Yeah. Hey, I took it to the finals in one race. So.
Yes, you did. You did. Oh, good God.
we may have to talk about another wintertime or end the season sponsorship. We still got a whole season to go. You got a lot of coverage.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting ready to winterize my stuff. You're just breaking your stride over here.
Sorry, Chris.
That's okay. No worries. No, it's all
By the
good.
way, your microphone finally came back. You sound normal again.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. For all the 3 people listening, we're good.
We're up to 8 right now.
Yeah, we're
That's
up to
good.
8.
That's
All right,
pretty
great.
cool.
Real quick before we get out of here, shakedown at VMP. Tommy Franklin laid claim to the $25,000 Pro Line Racing M&M transmission Pro Modified win over Jim Halsey in the final. Other Pro Class winners: Tim Essick, PDRA Pro Street, Ken Corticchio, probably killed that one.
Ken Cortuccio.
Thank you.
He's local
He's,
from around here. That's
I
how
was
I know.
about to say, isn't he from up that way? Like, what?
Yes. He's in the town right next to me.
Oh, all right.
Way to go, Chris.
Corticchio. All right.
Tuned by the Red Hat
1375.
Mafia, Jamie Miller.
There you go. DJ McCain, Motion Race Works, Limited Drag Radial. Frank Mishaw, Diamond Pistons X275. Dylan Weil, URP Products, Ultra Street. JC Beatty, of course, of ATI Transmission fame. One in Real Street. And Jason Riley and Limited 235. Rodney Pryor, Top Sportsman. Barry Meckeson, Super Pro, Nathan Tanner, Junior Dragsters, all claimed sportsman victories Sunday afternoon. They had rain hampering them on Friday afternoon, evening. One other thing before we go as well, Brandon Karaguzian, King of the Track in New England Dragway, and there is a double this coming weekend for Division I Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series at Virginia Motorsports Park. We will be doing 2 of the guessing game. If you have not gotten into our guessing game, it was kind of on a whim and it has taken on a life of its own. Jags has stepped in and offered some more stuff to our prize box. So thank you very much to Jags. Again, if you want to enter, just you'll see the thread on the Facebook page. If you want to enter for 1 race, you can do that. If you want to go for 2, just put up 2 guesses, let us know, and we will pick the winner probably Sunday or Monday, depending on when I can get the results.
Do we have a guest lined up for next week?
I don't have anybody yet.
Okay. Here's what I would like to do if it's okay with you guys.
Absolutely.
Scotty put on a race September 11th that I was a part of. I helped run it. I was lucky enough for them to ask me to give them a hand, and the race went off really good. If you don't mind, I would love to have Scott and Ralph on for a little bit. They could recap how the race went and give us some potential dates and a game plan for next year for No Time, No Rules. And just give them a little bit of airplay because it was a pretty cool event to attend and work at.
Awesome.
I like
and
it.
Jerron, you also have somebody that you were working on, that person we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
I will get on that immediately and confirm soon, ASAP.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, guys, get out of here. I know you got to go take your shower and get your beauty sleep, Pete, and Jerron's going to go work.
And watch my soap opera.
I'm going back to work, so have your people call my people, and
I will call your people tomorrow.
Yeah. Have your people call his people, but not before noon, because
11:30-ish, 11:45.
No, I will give him credit. I've actually messaged him a couple times around 10:30, and he was somewhat comatose.
Yeah.
I had to have a magic step come up and hit his toe just to get him up early from the pain throbbing.
Oh, and also just to let you know, both of you, I did reach out to that person, and we'll be having a conversation about that from the beginning of the show.
Are you?
Yes, the painting.
The painting.
Awesome. Good stuff.
I was gonna say, Peter, are you as lost as I am? 'Cause
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you might want to look me up after this.
I talking, so you'll learn eventually, Jerron, if you hang around me long enough. Pete's already figured it out. He just goes, yep, okay.
Yeah, sure.
got
I
it.
talk in subliminal circles.
Yeah, I didn't
Chris
think.
is the king of vague.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Hey, you know that drag show that was at the track? You talking about the one with the big tires, the back, little tires?
Yeah, you know, yeah,
With
the big black
with the front
Chevy,
tires
yeah,
on the
that
front
one.
or on the back.
Gets towed to the track in a trailer. Yeah, that one.
Right.
All right,
All
guys.
right, guys, have a
thank you
good
very
night. We'll see you
Jagger
soon.
Naves, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
If you are available to go check out the Bunny Burkett tribute race at MIR on
Please
October
do it.
2nd, I highly recommend you do it. It sounds like they got a hell of a bunch of cars lined up, and great job by Jagger and all his buddies to put that whole thing together.
For sure.
Good stuff. Guys, have a good night.
All right, talk to you all
My
later.
pleasure.